This is Will Lou Gray Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
It's our final game of the season here in the Low Country. A little Will Lou Gray Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Our marquee matchup, Porter-Guad, First Baptist, but it's the last game of the season. A little bonus edition. It's an unbelievable varsity girls finish. Jack DeLongshaw joined courtside with Scott Eisberg. Scotty,
yeah,
it's a first for us, but this is going to be an unbelievable finish.
Yeah, this is a game that First Baptist was owning this game. They were up double figures, and then, early fourth quarter, Porter-Guad makes a run, hits a couple of threes, and next thing you know, we got these two teams going at it, a 5-point game, 2 minutes left in it, so not going to beat that.
He fouled on the shot was number 11. That was Grayson Hariri, just a junior. She heads to the line with Porter-Guad trailing by 5 with 2:05 to go. A lot of star power in this one. We saw that camera angle on number 23, Ava Rush for First Baptist. The young Hurricane, she's just a sophomore, picking up an offer from Coastal Carolina. But it's Hariri knocking down the first free throw and cutting the deficit to 4.
Yeah, Porter-Guad is a team that's on the rise, 15-8 on the year, coached by Chris Evans, doing a nice job with this team. First Baptist is the established power. Presley Singleton, she's been around for decades. She coached at Northwood Academy, is coached here at First Baptist, and done a great job wherever she's been. 19-9 on the year. They're 5-2 in the region. So First Baptist would be the favorite to win this game, but anything can happen.
Looks like before what could have been a lane violation, they're going to get a hold. As you see, Porter-Guad, there's been a lot to smile about in this fourth quarter. Porter-Guad, the Cyclones, they entered the fourth down 12 points. They've stormed back. And with just 2:05 to go, Hariri's 2 rapid repairs free throws cut it to just 3.
So far tonight for First Baptist, Yana Seabury has kind of been their go-to. She's been able to slash and get to the basket, so that's a tremendous get to have her. If you can get her the ball down low, she's been doing a nice job of just kind of slashing and getting to the basket. So we're going to go to a timeout now, draw things up, and we got an entirely new ball game right now.
For Porter-Guad, it's been that full court 42-esque press. They're going to really press those guards heavily, which has been a mistake early in the game because First Baptist is led in that backcourt by, you mentioned, Yana Seabury, who's got a Limestone offer. Believe she's committed to Limestone, but also joining the backcourt, Scotty, Dior Brown, the daughter of?
Desmond Brown, right?
How about Desmond Brown? Who's on
Desmond Brown.
Our football broadcast this fall.
Yep, he is Mr. Pickleball for the Low Country. He runs Low Country Pickleball, one of the great athletes to come out of the West Ashley area, St. Andrews High School, a legend. And I'll tell you what, you talk about a basketball family. His brother, Jimmy Brown, they just took down a region championship at Ashley Ridge, undefeated in the region. What a job Jimmy Brown has done with that team at Ashley Ridge. So
her big brother, too, training some of the best basketball players in the Low Country, members of Charleston Southern, the College of Charleston. He's an unbelievable player himself. Let's see if little sister Dior can take the Hurricanes down to the finish.
Yeah, the Brown family, man, they can play some basketball. Jimmy was a football player at the Citadel, but he has always made his calling card as a basketball coach on the girls' side of things. Done a really, really nice job.
Brown will inbound with Zoe Moulton, covering. They find Gabby Moore. Moore's tripped up and around the low block. That foul's going to be on Mackenzie Sellers. It looked like it could have been a 50-50 call. Porter-Guad's none too pleased.
Yeah, absolutely not. Zoe Moulton, who guarded the inbound, has been kind of the leader for Porter-Guad. She's their point guard. She's kind of the heart and soul of this Porter-Guad team. Does a nice job with them. So, they're going to have to lean on her. The final 2 minutes of a game, you go to their point guard, you put the ball in the hands of your best player, and then you try to, if you can get it down low, draw a foul, do what you can do. But Porter-Guad has shot their way back into this game.
Head coach Presley Singleton, you almost see a little four-corner offense as Gabby Moore wisely pulls out, finds Ava Rush. Rush back to Brown. Porter-Guad's going to pressure. No shot clock in the state of South Carolina. Foul differential 3-2. Moore guarded by Grayson Hariri, and she's going to be fouled by Hariri. That's the 14th foul for Porter-Guad. Just 2 for First Baptist. Those are important numbers to keep in mind. 6 will get you into the bonus, and then kind of get in that stage of the game where you're going to have to start making some free throws to walk away with a W.
Yeah, it's so much easier here to be able to sit on the ball. So, you know, the fouling usually starts a little earlier unless your team is in foul trouble. Neither of these teams is in foul trouble at all. So you're going to see plenty of fouling now to try to get players at the line. You know, I don't know how much they're playing percentages of players, you know, on the other team who they're trying to foul. I think it's more or less, let's just get the ball back and hope they miss at the free throw line.
Give us a chance, right? Yep. As Mackenzie Sellers picks up her 3rd personal. That'll send Gabby Moore to the line. I misspoke. That must have been the 6th. It'll send to the line. That was a new rule in the state of South Carolina as well in the high school league. Instead of, you know, 6 in the bonus, 10 in the double, they go to more of an NBA style type of play. So they reset them after every quarter.
I haven't seen a ton of difference in it this year. I mean, I don't think it's changed the overall trajectory of the game. You know, is it a little different? But, you know, ultimately, I think this year, I don't know if they've said anything to the refs. I just feel like they've let them play a little bit more this year.
I was going to say, almost a pace of play decision.
The pace of play has been good. It's been good. They've let them play quite a bit. I mean, we've done 6 weeks. I don't think we've seen one guy foul out. So, I mean, granted, these games are shorter than a typical, you know, 8, 16, 24, 32 minutes compared to 40 in a college game or 48 in a pro game. It's a lot less time to foul out. That being said, we haven't seen anyone really flirt with that this year. So maybe they're letting them play it out a little bit more. Maybe they're just, you know, playing better basketball.
I think a conversation right now being had at the scorers table. I'm glad. I'm telling you, we did our homework coming into this girls' game. A little crash course edition, but I think they were just as confused as maybe I was. The total fouls in the 4th quarter, they do confirm it was the 6th. It'll send Moore to the line. She's got ice in her veins as she knocks down the first of the Rapid Repairs free throws. If your home needs repairs, call Rapid Repairs. Call Gabby Moore if you want to push the lead back to 2 possessions.
The thing about First Baptist is kind of, they've been there, done that. They've made these runs. They have several girls playing Division I basketball right now. Presley Singleton is so established. In a pressure situation like this, I don't worry about First Baptist and kind of keeping their emotions in check and keeping their cool. Porter-Guad, on the other hand, they're kind of the up-and-coming team. They've got the home crowd. They've got all of that going for them. That could have been a travel on Zoe Moulton. She almost slid.
A nice jumper from Julia Burdick-Gaddy. It was her rebound on the other end to maintain possession for the Cyclones. She knocks down the jumper that touches every part of the rim. Cuts it back to 2, and this Porter-Guad student section loving what their girls are giving them right now.
Yeah, yep. She's kind of slid, but that was not. She didn't take the extra step, and we're good to go on that one. That's a good basket, and we've got a 2-point ball game with a minute to play. Minute 6 left on the clock.
Scotty, I was with you too in live action. It looked like she had almost pulled that pivot foot.
Yep.
She did a good job of holding it and almost using that defender as a way to seal and get her wide open. As we see this student section's dancing to a little Barbie. Already excited for senior night here at Porter-Guad.
Is this Barbie? I didn't know. I thought it was Dua Lipa. This is Dua Lipa singing, isn't it?
I think she sang it in Barbie.
Oh, how about that?
I think we're all learning.
You learn something new every day.
I didn't know it was Dua Lipa.
I knew it was Dua Lipa.
So look at us, the ultimate tandem.
It's Dua Lipa from Barbie. I think we're good to go. I'm amazed that you knew it was from Barbie. I refused to go and watch Barbie with my daughter. Yeah, there we are on TV. Hello, everybody.
That was our man, Gaddy.
John
the student section, far better looking than Scotty and myself over here. They've got a ton of energy tonight. One senior on the women's basketball team, one senior on the men's team. If you can get a shot.
Yeah, let's get a shot of the men's team wearing Clyde Malden shirts. That could be the best senior day attire I think I've ever seen. They got shirts printed up of Clyde Malden, who is their senior, their one senior. Can we get a shot of them? They're in the tunnel, ready to come out. There they are. That could be the best looking senior day t-shirts. Whoever went to the store and got Clyde Malden shirts, well done. Oh, and there we got a steal. Looks like Zoe Moulton went for the steal on that inbound.
It's Moulton defending Brown. Brown finds Moore. She's able to break through. And she's got Ava Rush, and Ava Rush wisely pulls it out. 50 to go on the game clock. And Rush is trapped in the corner.
Women's basketball, you don't have to get it over in 10 seconds.
This is Moulton. Cyclones down 2. Gabby Moore on an ISO set.
Moulton's,
She gets hit with a 5-second defensive clock.
Wow.
What unbelievable on-ball defense from Zoe Moulton.
It was almost like the call just beat her to trying to foul. It was almost like at 35 seconds she was going to foul, and the 5 seconds beat her to it. So she lucked out on that. First Baptist doesn't shoot, and now we got a ball game here, 2-point game, and they're trying to go inside.
Oh, and they get a travel on Hariri. Great defense from Ava Rush on that low block. Gabby Moore came in on the backside pursuit to tip it away. This is a 9-0 run right now for Porter-Guad. First Baptist scoreless in the last 5.5 minutes of game play.
With the student section here and everything, all the momentum going for Porter-Guad, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot like that. You can't make little mistakes, but Zoe Moulton just so good defensively.
Ava Rush trapped in the corner, finds Seabrook. First Baptist will sit on it. And here comes a red call.
Oh, they got the steal.
It's a breakaway. No foul called. That was Perry Chambers on the breakaway, coast to coast with a chance to tie the game.
Perry Chambers wanted the foul badly, and I thought it was a foul. Here she is, great steal, takes it right to the hoop.
Scott, I think it's a steal before the foul up in the air, but to your point, if Gabby Moore's backside pursuit doesn't tip it away, we got a tie ball game.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
10 to go. Porter-Guad with a chance to tie it. Loose ball, won by Dior Brown.
Great
timeout. They're going to call it a foul.
Oh, they called a foul? I thought
wow.
Chris Evans called a timeout there for a second. He was going for it.
That's just the third on First Baptist.
Also, important to know that a jump ball would go to First Baptist right now. So a tie-up's not going to help Porter-Guad.
Great call. It's Scarlett Mayer inbounding. She's looking underneath. It's Dior Brown. She tips it away. Ava Rush will come away with the loose ball with 5.5 to go. Detrimental turnover late.
Yeah, you don't want to throw that pass into traffic. You know, it's almost like let's set up something for the inbound and yes, try to set up some sort of a one-on-one, something where you can get to the basket and try to draw a foul, but throwing a ball into traffic is not what you want to do in that situation.
Down, not out. This Porter-Guad student section's been on their feet this entire fourth quarter. They've done an unbelievable job supporting their women's team. They spurred them on a 9-0 run. Will they have enough, or will Ava Rush put the game on ice? The Coastal Carolina potential signee knocks down the first, makes it a 3-point game.
Big free throw right there. Porter-Guad doesn't have a timeout left, so that's why he didn't call a timeout on that last play, by the way. I just realized they don't have a timeout.
This free throw will put it away.
And it doesn't.
Perry Chambers finds Moulton. Moulton with 3 to go.
You got to stop and shoot.
Dribble off of the foot, and First Baptist is going to escape.
Game over.
42-39, what a finish.
Great ball game. It was almost like Zoe Moulton knew she had to shoot, but she was getting too fast for herself. She was just trying to rush it up there. She had a second to kind of set herself and take a long shot, would have been the better option. But what a great game. What a great comeback by the Porter-Guad Cyclones right there.
You see Zoe Moulton, great on-ball defense from Dior Brown, the senior, in the big rivalry matchup. She forces the turnover late. They escape, and escape might be the perfect word. Zoe Moulton with a huge fourth quarter for Porter-Guad, but to no avail. A 9-1 run in the fourth quarter. First Baptist will walk out of here with a dub.
That is a hard-fought win, but that's one heck of a way to get your 20th win of the year. This First Baptist team is going to be a team that you watch out for in the playoffs this year. They are a very good team. The one team that they've got to watch out for, though, is Northwood Academy. Northwood's been kind of the class of Skeeza as of late. I believe they beat Fort last week, so we're going to go into a break, and we're also going to have a senior night ceremony. Only 2 seniors remaining for the Porter-Guad Cyclones, one on the men's team, one on the women's team, and that is Clyde Malden for the men, and I believe it's number 14, that is Leah Couture for the women's team. So they'll have a short senior ceremony, and then we'll go into a second game. I can only hope the second one's as good as the first.
I mean, come on. It's our last game of the year, brought to you by Will Lou Gray, Opportunity School Hoops. Jack DeLongchamp, Scott Eisberg, we appreciate you joining us. We have already seen the shirts. The student section is pouring onto the floor right now for Clyde Malden, one lone senior, and the captain for the Porter-Guad Cyclones. They're excited. We're excited. Where else would you rather be? Porter-Guad, First Baptist, Cyclones, Hurricanes. Ready to rock and roll. We're going to hang out for a second before we rock and roll out of here. That's Clyde Malden at the end of the tunnel. Some senior day festivities.
You kind of wonder what's going through his mind when he sees a sea of himself on his buddies' chests and whatnot. It's an interesting look, but there's Clyde Malden. And you want to talk about the heart and soul of a program. Clyde Malden is the heart and soul of a program. I mean, John Pearson said he is just miserable that he's losing him after this year, and he wants him badly to play college basketball, wherever it may be. He's a scholar athlete. He's an absolute stud, a great kid. John Pearson's going to be devastated to lose him, but I think he's got some basketball in front of him, and I think John Pearson believes so as well.
And there's a relationship, too, on the other sideline for First Baptist. Tay Robinson, Cooper Kowalski, they played with Clyde Malden. Antoine Saunders, he coached him in the summertime.
Yep.
And you can see overcome with emotions tonight is Clyde Malden. He's given it all to his program. What a beautiful moment.
I think we just saw some tears. John Pearson's crying. John Pearson is crying. Wow, that's great stuff. I mean, if that doesn't describe to you what the players mean to the coaches and what the coaches mean to the players, John Pearson is crying about losing Clyde Malden. I mean, John Pearson's a guy who's got 2 guys in the NBA. He has put so much talent out through this school. For him to be shedding tears for Clyde Malden, that's pretty impressive. Look at John Pearson. He keeps just wiping away the tears. Really, really cool to see that. And you see their principal, their headmaster, DeBose Eggleston. He's kind of consoling John Pearson. We'll find you another 6'5" center with a 5.0 GPA one of these days. We'll get you another one of them as we go to the girls' senior ceremony right now.
It's Leah Cretoro. Tears for her as well as she departs Porter-Guad Gymnasium for the final time, accompanied by her mom and dad. Unbelievable finish on hand. They almost pulled up the miraculous come from behind victory on senior night.
Yeah. I mean, the emotion of tonight is such a different one for the guys. You've got to come down from this, and for the girls, after a tough loss, you've got to build up for this. It's such a different thing when you have senior nights together in between games. So what a great senior night it was. The way they have them kind of swamped in there by their classmates, by their teammates, by their friends. I mean, Porter-Guad does things the right way. They always have their signing day. Awesome. I don't know if you've ever seen a signing day here. They do it where the student reads a whole thing that they've written, and then their parent reads a letter that they've written for the student in front of everybody. They get everyone together. It really is a super cool ceremony that they do for senior day, for signing day, whatever it is. They've got everything going on in Porter-Guad. They've got to do it going on right.
It's clearly community-driven. We saw the emotion from head coach John Pearson, JP, as he's known by his peers in this building. But what's been so interesting when we talked to him earlier this week about Clyde Malden, he goes, man, we're not the same team without him. There's a lot of praise on the young four-star Robert Moore. He's an unbelievable talent. But this team goes as Clyde Malden goes. They lost him a few weeks back to just a sickness, just a little bug. And for a week, he goes, we were not the same team. The last time that we played First Baptist, we didn't have Clyde Malden. This is a different ball club. He goes, it is going to be almost impossible to replace him as a player.
That's the big thing.
As a captain, personally, though, clearly his emotions speak volumes.
And, a guy like Robert Moore could step into that role, but he's got to step into that role as a vocal leader. You could be a leader as a very good player, but you've got to be the leader that everybody respects. That's the big thing. Everyone has to kind of have that respect for you as a leader, and Clyde Malden has that across the board.
We talked about the community. That's Leah Cortoro again on her senior night being swarmed by friends and family. There's head coach John Pearson and his coaching staff as they now await and ready. What is, by the way, a huge game.
Yeah.
We've got an opportunity to win a region championship tonight. So it's like, all right, how do we flush everything that just went down and make sure we take care of business at hand?
That's the big thing. It's the region championship you could win. It's the arch rival game. The Raptors have all of these players over the summer. I mean, so many of them are good friends. They know each other. You want those bragging rights. I mean, it's a bragging rights type of game. And the nice thing about this is there's a tremendous mutual respect between the two teams. This is not the kind of game that's going to get chippy or have guys that are, jawing off to each other. Maybe a little bit for fun, but this is not the kind of game you worry about boiling over at all. They're just good teams who genuinely respect each other and enjoy playing each other. And I'm really getting dizzy looking at these shirts as they come in front of us.
What better way to roll us out to break the Clyde mold than night? The shirts take us to our first break. We'll be back just after this short break. We welcome you into Porter-Guad Gymnasium. It's the Cyclones, it's the Hurricanes, it's rivalry night, it's region championship night. Will Lou Gray, Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Crew Chevrolet. We welcome you back in courtside. Jack DeLongshot alongside the Low Country legend, Scott Eisberg. The shirts, they're strong. We're going to have to get a pair of our own. I mean, it's big-time Clyde Ball tonight. But more importantly, Scotty, both of these teams, an opportunity to win a region championship. For Antoine Saunders, he said he didn't see this team at this point in the year at the earlier. It's going to be really interesting to see how tonight plays out.
Doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. It's as cliche as it gets, but this is the team that just kind of epitomizes that. It's a team that started with two seniors. It's Tay Robinson, it's Cooper Kowalski, everything is them. Now, this is a team. This is a team that plays around those guys and complements those guys, and that's what you need, is the complementary players. Now those players are playing good, and they're winning games. I mean, Anton Saunders said, if you would tell me this is where we're going to be at in December, he said, no way. I wouldn't have believed you, but I certainly would have taken it. And now they're here. They're playing for a region against Porter. They're rivals. That's what it's all about.
Well, the relationship between JP and Coach Saunders is one that we'll talk about throughout. But the matchup at hand is going to be really interesting because there are some superstars in the making. Cooper Kowalski for First Baptist, a stud senior forward that's picking up Division I offers left and right. And Robert Moore, the junior, he's a 4-star. He's picking up offers across the entire Southeast. They're both long. They're both rangy. Tonight, guarding each other, we're getting maybe the best matchup in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, it really is. Cooper Kowalski has just picked up so much momentum. This is senior year. He's a guy who was lightly recruited before this. Now it's heavily recruited. Charleston Southern, Navy, big-time schools in Division I ranks are coming after Cooper Kowalski. On the other side, Robert Moore, only a junior when you get most of your recruiting. And I'll tell you what, Robert Moore, he's getting looks. Earl Grant, Boston College, came to town last week to see him play. I mean, when ACC coaches are flying in to see you, you know you're doing something right, and you're going to have to be the guy that they lean on, especially offensively. He's just a really talented offensive player. Got to develop a little bit on the defensive side, but offensively, John Pearson says, fearless. He doesn't. When he was a little skinny twig of a kid, he would just go right down the middle and not care. Now he's got some size to him, and he still does the cuts right down the middle. That shows a lot of fear that's not in his body.
6'6", 185, in the College of Charleston, they're all over Robert Moore. They don't want him to leave the low country, but that's because this kid has developed. He's a 3-year starter. He started as an 8th grader, and he's blossomed into one of the low country's best. I'm really interested as we dive into this game. You mentioned it, Scotty, the supporting cast tonight.
Sure.
What do both these teams need to do to walk away with a W? Our keys to the game brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You're from the car business. How do you walk away with a win tonight?
First Baptist's got to go to their guys, Cooper and Tay. Tay Robinson. John Pearson puts it best. He's the Kyle Korver of Skeeza. He's just a shooter. He's a guy that create a shot. He's got a bit of a big body. He does it all for Cooper Kowalski. If you're going to double on Cooper Kowalski, good for you. Tay Robinson's going to hurt you. And then you got to keep your poise. This is not an easy gym to play in. This is not a place where you just come in and push over the opponent or the crowd. It's a tough place to play. First Baptist has to play tough.
And for Porter-Guad, got to get outside the box a little bit, get creative in the way that you involve others around him. John Michael Jenkins, he's their point guard, backcourt member. He's a transfer from Oceanside, a stud golfer, by the way, so I need Mr. Jenkins to teach me how to swing a driver. But outside of that, Banks Butler is emerging to quite the player, Griffin Ferraro. But Clyde Malden's a kid that Coach Pearson told us he's going to make it difficult on big Cooper Kowalski tonight.
Yeah.
I think we're looking for Robert Moore to defend him because those are the two collegiate guys that we're looking at. But they think that Clyde Malden's ability to defend the low block might make Kowalski really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and you just have to make Kowalski uncomfortable because he gets going, and he's going. He's a guy that could light you up for 30. Keep him off balance, keep him uncomfortable. The thing about him is he's comfortable outside and inside, so he's kind of a tough guy to do that against. You have to have athleticism to guard him, and they've got athleticism on Porter-Guad. Robert Moore's going to take time. Clyde Malden's going to take time. You have several guys who are all going to kind of switch on Cooper Kowalski, but you have to keep looking for Tay Robinson. Otherwise, he's the one that's going to burn you.
Burn it. Now, Scotty, I want to kind of paint the picture for you because you know these two head coaches well. They're legends in the basketball community here in Charleston, South Carolina. They know each other fairly well. When we asked them, what's it like playing against one of your better friends? They both dove in deep to how that friendship then started. It's really kind of a hilarious situation. They coach each other. They run a travel program. The Charleston Raptors, it's the all-stars basically from all the low country's finest. But these two have been doing this for close to 25 years.
Yeah, and it dates back further than that. When John Pearson was a player at College of Charleston and Anton Saunders was a player at Wofford, they went up against each other. And Anton Saunders got into a little extracurricular business. I believe it was an out-of-bounds play. He stole the ball away from the College of Charleston. John Pearson couldn't stand him because of that. A couple of years later, John Pearson's already working at Porter. Anton Saunders is outside shooting around. John Pearson goes, I'm not letting that guy in my gym. Finally, he lets him in, and they become best friends, and there you have it. So we're going to go to the national anthem right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hanging out with us and that didn't give you goosebumps, we're going to need to check for a pulse. An unbelievably beautiful rendition of the national anthem.
Who was that?
Well, no.
We got to get a name on that anthem singer. That was phenomenal.
I think Scott Eisberg just found this next big-time story in Charleston area, baby.
We need to know who that anthem was.
Well, we've got an unbelievable female finish in the first game of the night. Then that rendition, I don't know if this game can live up to the hype so far. That was unbelievable.
That was a great anthem. I don't know who that was, but whoever it was, I was supremely impressed with that. Wow.
Well, I've been really impressed with this First Baptist starting lineup. Surrounding Kowalski and Tay Robinson will be the junior guard, Dame Jr., James Majani, Jordan Aremu, Tay Robinson and Cooper Kowalski that you'll see in that two-man game often. Now, they missed a guard, Matty Four, a season ago, who's now at Wingate College. Yeah. Filling that spot has been pretty difficult for Antoine Saunders and his group. But, man, has Dame Jr. really stepped up and become a can't-win-without point guard. The last time these two met was a 7-point victory for the Cyclones. Dame Jr., though, 11 assists to just 1 turnover.
That's the key stat right there. A new point guard to only turn the ball over 1 time and to distribute that well is a tremendous advantage for a team. And I'll tell you what, on the defensive side of things, it's Jordan Aremu. He is their best defensive player, and he's only a sophomore. He's only getting better. So expect to see him hanging around Robert Moore tonight. As we look at the starting lineup for the Porter-Guad Cyclones, John Michael Jenkins, like you said, Banks Butler, Robert Moore, Griffin Ferraro, who can shoot. He is a natural scorer, a good offensive player. He's a guy that they'll lean on you might not think of. And here's Robert Moore. And there's Robert Moore. He's buttering you up for some good calls, Jack. He's buttering you up. He wants his name on the resume film here.
Well, I got to tell you, it was a smart move because the minute he ran over that student section as well, about as well received as you'll find. There's Antoine Saunders in his 6th season as the head coach at First Baptist. They come into tonight's matchup 8-10, just 2-1 in region play. At 1 loss to Porter-Guad. And there's the big man, 27 years on campus here. 17 as the head coach for the Porter-Guad Cyclones. John Pearson since 2009 has been roaming that sidelines. You mentioned it, Chris Middleton, Aaron Neesmith, NBA pedigree dudes. Josiah James, who's still tearing it up at Tennessee. He's coached the best. He's the best. He's got the #1 team in the Skeeza level. And they're looking for 1 win tonight to claim a region championship, and we're underway.
And when you talk about John Pearson, you cannot forget to talk about the name on the court, because that's his mentor, Randy Clark.
How about an opening 3 from Banks Butler? Scotty said he could shoot. He knocks down a 3, assisted by a nice find from John Michael Jenkins.
Right out of the rip to establish yourself as the shooter is big, and First Baptist going to shoot right back at him. Tay Robinson with the rebound and the putback. He misses it, but Tay Robinson's the guy that you got to watch, that second option.
Great on-ball defenses. What a find in the corner. There's Moore, and there he is, Malden fighting for another loose ball. His effort will kick it out to Ferraro. Jenkins swings. They go back to Ferraro. He slips. Jenkins will slow down the offense.
John Michael Jenkins, little. He is not a big guy in stature, but John Pearson loves his heart. Just a spark plug type kid. He's a kid who's fearless on the court. He's the guy that you want.
That corner must have some good voodoo over there. How about the 3 from Griffin Ferraro? Another Mr. Sparky 3.
And Griffin Ferraro, don't get him hot. If you're First Baptist, you got to slow him down because he's the kind of guy that can really get hot.
Oh, and there's Moore. Jump stop, so disciplined, assisted from Ferraro, and it's 8-0 the bat of the hat.
Yeah, First Baptist, the team who played so well against Porter-Guad the first time around. It's tough to get yourself in a bad hole like that, and Tay Robinson comes up short on it, but a nice follow. They just can't get anything to go down right now.
Right now, that momentum is just big-time swinging in that home sideline. Great find, but how about the Bunnies? Cooper Kowalski go pin it up against the glass. His athleticism, loud.
Yeah, that's a heck of a block right there for Cooper Kowalski. Doesn't pick up the foul, just a very disciplined, perfect textbook block.
And as mentioned, it is going to be Clyde Malden guarding Kowalski. They're going to do everything they can to isolate him at all times and get him in favorable matchups. There's another one. Kowalski, nice little baby hook. No follow for Banks Butler. There's the first 2 for the Hurricanes.
Cooper Kowalski has put on some weight. He's put on the muscle. He really is looking like a college player right now. He's going to be one.
Jenkins unable to get the first 3 to go. That's the first miss for Porter-Guad tonight. But you're right. Kowalski transferred over from Stratford, playing with Matty Ford a season ago. But now this is his team. As he's able to pick up that trail foot. And you're going to see Clyde Malden. He's going to meet him deep. Great on-ball defense to force a turnover.
Absolutely good defense right there. And, you know, Kowalski he's still arguing the call right now, but I think the ref is just kind of explaining it to him what he did. It was a pretty obvious call. I didn't think there was anything egregious about the call by any stretch.
Without question. Those 2 threes to start off tonight, brought to you by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. You find more high, another 3 ball. You told him, don't let him get hot. Griffin Ferrara, he's a streaky shooter.
Yep.
He's feeling himself.
And you can tell he's feeding into the crowd and feeding off the crowd tonight. That's exactly what you want to do when you're a shooter and you're shooting at home. 11-2, Porter-Guad could not have drawn up a better start to this game. Ooh. Although that was a heck of a move right there for First Baptist. Well done for Dame Jr.
Stop it. The point guard. How about the carry me? He cuts the deficit back to 7.
And if there's one player that John Michael Jenkins reminds me of, there is no question about it. As Robert Moore is just silky smooth.
Look at him rise up above the defender. Nice mid-range jumper. He's got 4.
John Michael Jenkins absolutely reminds me of Denim Wojcik.
Oh, man. It almost just identical.
Yeah, Denim Wojcik is...
Great head fake from Clyde Malden. Get Kowalski up in the air. He's going to get flagged with the first personal foul of the game. We see on the other end, there's that Dame Jr. Nice little Euro into the lane off of 2 feet.
Yep.
But come on, look how smooth this is. Look him rise above the defender.
Yeah, Robert Moore is really, really smooth. Just a smooth, silky player. But like we were going back to John Michael Jenkins, Denim Wojcik, who's playing now for Harvard, a typical Porter-Guad player at Harvard, who would think? But, you know, Denim Wojcik had no stat. He was tiny when he got here. Won that state championship with the big-time guys, and then he grew into his body, and he ends up becoming an elite player in our area. And now he's up at Harvard.
The pull-up jumper from James Pajani. It's just a 2. The foot was on the line. Deficit remains at 9, but to your point, Denham, big brother, playing at North Carolina now.
Yep.
Truly a coach's son.
Their dad, Doug Wojcik, the former College of Charleston head coach, now the right-hand man to Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Doug Wojcik teaches basketball like no other, and I'll tell you what, his 2 kids, you talk about smart. One went to Brown, one went to Harvard. Not bad.
Not bad as Banks Butler. It was that jumper on the other end. He's looking for 3 the old-fashioned way. Look at Tay Robinson on a block underneath. The second personal for the Canes. That'll take us to our first media timeout. The Cyclones, they're shooting 83% from the floor right now. They lead 17-6. It was a hot start. 5 from Butler, 6 from Ferraro. Man, the Cyclones, they just can't miss. It's Will Gray, Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Crew Chevrolet. Jack DeLongchamp alongside Scott Eisberg. That's Banks Butler. He's got 6. There's the foul on Tay Robinson before we headed to break.
And John Pearson simply says he defends, he deflects, he impacts with his presence every single game. There's no way Porter-Guad can do it without him.
He did. He said it so interesting. He said about it, he and Baldo as well. We don't win without him, right? Those guys had so much credit. It's a nice full-court pass. Great look from Dame Jr. That's Jordan Aremu, his first 2.
And Jordan Aremu has kind of progressed more than any player on this First Baptist team this year. He's the guy that you weren't thinking of at the beginning of the year, and now you can't take your eyes off of him. Defensively, he's always marking up the best player on the other team. He gets his points on offense. He's a guy that really could take them from a good team to a great team.
Well, and he's not a guy that's necessarily going to light up a stat sheet, but he's also a stat sheet stuffer in the sense that he does a little bit of everything. He is a jack of all trades, as Antoine Saunders mentioned, but also important to mention, too, we told you this Porter-Guad team, very junior heavy. They've only got 1 senior, the number 1 team, the Skis 11. But First Baptist as well, they've only got the 2 seniors. Obviously, it's Kowalski and Robinson. You see a deep 3. Ooh, James Pajani. Nothing but net. He was an inch away from his second 3. I remember that last one. Foot was on the line, but that was a teardrop from the heavens. Looking to answer is Ferraro. That's his first miss of the day, is Butler fighting for a loose ball. Will go off the edge of his fingertips. Ball will remain with the Canes, as we're going to see a nice, beautiful full-court pass from Junior.
Yeah, Butler is just a really tough guy. He's the guy that you just can't do it without. He's always in there fighting for the rebound, whether he gets it or not. He's going to be in there fighting for it. But this game's really evened out. It's calmed down, and First Baptist has kind of found their footing. And Pajani is going to be a guy that can help them do that, because Pajani is instant offense. He's the kind of kid who's an instant offense kind of guy.
Like we mentioned, too, it's a young team. Pajani and Aremu are just sophomores. Antoine Sanders is going to have these guys on campus on this varsity team for 5 years, as they both played on the varsity level as 8th graders. But Pajani, Coach Saunders told us, he's been in double figures in 6 of their last 7 games, and there's no fear in his jumper. I mean, the kid's got a clip.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is that John Pearson is equally responsible for kind of grooming the kids on First Baptist, and Anton Saunders is responsible for so much of the success of Porter-Guad because of how much they do on the AAU circuit. They're always with these guys. They see them as each other's players. I mean, they really genuinely care about them, and they're responsible for so much of the talent. Clyde Malden on the rebound right there. And I think it shows you how important that is.
Oh, catch and shoot. Great find. Moore unable to get it down, but here's Tay Robinson out on the run. He's a Raptors alumni. But how about Robert Moore? Little team-out on teammate bad blood. He gives us a little finger wag on the way down. Unable to capitalize on the monster block from Robert Moore.
A heck of a block right there. He got up big time. But like I was saying, as Cooper Kowalski's moving on the inside, Pajani gets the ball. If it shows you how much they care about each other's players and they almost co-coach them, a couple years ago when Chris Middleton's playing in the NBA Finals, John Pearson went up to Milwaukee for the finals with Anton Saunders. Anton Saunders was at the finals in Milwaukee with JP.
The stories and relationships, we could fill a whole broadcast with it. And I got a weird feeling that we're going to be filling this broadcast with a lot of Robert Moore talk. Look at the elevation, man. It's a good tape. Tay Robinson's looking for a foul maybe underneath, but it was all clean with big Robert Moore going and climbing the ladder. There's John Michael Jenkins. He's guarded on ball by Dame Jr. 19-11 with 30 to go. It looks like Porter's going to hold for the last. Oh, great hands by Dame Jr. Really impressed by his game. Game clock down to 25, and he goes, Banks Butler, have yourself a quarter. He's got 9 in the first quarter. No need to hold for the last when you're shooting as well as Banks Butler has.
Yeah, it's those role players that are going to win this game for you. Pajani is one of them on First Baptist, and Butler is absolutely one for Porter-Guad.
Junior shot, game clock down to 5. He blows by as the defender, pulls it out, looking for Bajani. Clock down to 1, and an air ball to end the quarter. The Cyclones erupt for 21 in that first on the back of Banks Butler. How about 9? He leads the way. One heck of a senior night for the Cyclones. Pajani's got 3, but boy, did the Cyclones light it up. That corner 3 from Ferraro and Butler was firing on all cylinders. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in the second quarter in just a bit. Welcome you back into Porter-Guad High School. It's Will Lou Gray Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. A 10-point lead and an offensive eruption for that man's squad. John Pearson, as he views on, a wildly efficient first quarter on the back of Banks Butler's 9 early points.
Number 21 now on the court, right in front of our table, is Cato Miller. He's only a freshman, but man, does he have a basketball body. He's got to be, 6'3"? He wasn't on the original roster, so he's a JV call-up, but that's a heck of a JV call-up.
Well, hey, maybe is that a friend trying to pull a fast one, another friend pulling up a JV kid, getting some quality minutes as Moore tries to sneak in a pass, and a slashing Malden. Turnover, and First Baptist is looking to get that deficit back to single digits. Checking as well in for the first time for First Baptist is Henry Hunt, a junior shooting guard. Junior guarded by Moore. What a move, man. Dame Jr., his quick twitch explosiveness from an athletic standpoint, he's been really impressive just a quarter in.
Yeah, he really does a nice job with the slashing. He is fearless. He's everything that Anton Saunders said he was going to be. Just developed into a point guard who's a leader of this team on the court.
Oh, he missed Kowalski as you got a little kick save and a butte by Malden. Kowalski got the advantageous positioning in on Moore on the inside. We told you we were curious if the two big guys were going to guard each other tonight. Clyde Malden's done a great job of quieting the big fellas. Hunt will check out, and Aremu will check back in. Junior.
That is the big difference right now, is that Kowalski and Tay really have been kind of quieted down. Tay's missed a couple shots. He's had a couple open looks.
This young man's been lighting it up. There's Pajani. That one won't go. Moore going coast to coast. Dame Jr. yet again.
We got showtime.
Big time finish from the big fella. Cooper Kowalski. Never a doubt. Take off. The big-time dunk from Kowalski set up by Dame Jr. That's Junior's second steal already.
Yep. Got right in there, picked the pocket, and Kowalski was off to the races for the nice dunk. So he gets our first dunk of the night as Clyde Malden. What a pretty lefty stroke for the senior on senior night. That's got to feel good.
I'm sure there's a lot of emotions and pressure on his end. Like, man, everyone's got their face on my face on their shirt. Like, I got to deliver tonight. He's done a great job of kind of maintaining those emotions as Robinson looking for Aremu. Great head fake from Kowalski, gets him up in the air. There's Aremu battling amongst the bigs. 2 offensive rebounds. He finishes back to 8.
First Baptist not backing down in this game at all. They really have not. They've weathered the storm. We've got a basketball game. At the beginning, it was a storm from Porter-Guad as Clyde Malden backs up with that little lefty. He's got that pretty lefty shot. I like that. And Tay Robinson is wide open there. Great run by Tay Robinson to get out on the break.
Runs the floor so well, but how about Dame Jr.? It's the second almost full court pass we've seen.
Yeah.
Gracefully lands in the hands, cuts the deficit to 6. But Scotty, how can we not go look at this one? These
There
points
we
in the
go.
paint brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. I'd like to admire that dunk a couple more times.
Heck of a dunk right there for Cooper Kowalski as we go into a timeout.
I'm telling you right now, with Kowalski picking up the Charleston Southern and the Citadel offers, I'm really curious. Does he leave the low country? I know that bigger offers are coming with the landscape of college basketball. Antoine Saunders, he told us, man, the recruiting should have happened earlier this kid. It's a little bit of a logjam at the next level.
Yeah.
But if they can keep this kid in the area, I mean, this is a stretch 4 at the next level without question.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that he could excel at Charleston Southern. And I'll tell you what, he's got a great relationship with Son Nimley. And it's looking more and more like Son Nimley might get that job at Charleston Southern.
Rightfully
Nimley
so.
has been all over him. And I've seen him at several CSU games since Barkley Radebaugh moved on. So to see that he's got that relationship with Nimley strong, I wouldn't doubt it at all, especially because he grew up at that exit.
Swats it away. And I'll tell you, it reminds me of, Scotty, Stephen Clark from the Citadel, now
Yeah.
at South Carolina. Very similar build, ability to handle the ball,
Yep.
ability to get up off the ground.
Stephen Clark had a heck of a year last year, went to South Carolina, hasn't played a ton at USC, but whatever buttons Lamont Paris is pushing at USC, they're working. You don't change those buttons.
No doubt. As all of a sudden we're seeing the offense is slow a little bit as John Michael Jenkins, clinical. One dribble, get to the elbow, knock it down. That's Jenkins' first 2 of the night.
Denham Wojcik, I'm just calling him Denham Wojcik because he just reminds me so much of Denham Wojcik, especially with the hair and everything. He's kind of got the exact look.
Well, I'll tell you this, John Pearson, he's let us know, as you see, just beautiful stroke from the elbow. He's tough as nails. He's our spark plug. But sometimes, JP goes, I don't know how he doesn't break out there. He's a really tough kid with a beautiful golf swing. They say that he's going to be a big-time golf recruit at the collegiate level. But right now, he's the stud backcourt point guard for the #1 team in the state.
Really tough to be a golf recruit, go play at a different country club every day. That's very difficult.
I know, man.
Difficult sport.
If I could do it again, right? Oh, how about that? Put him in a spin cycle. Looking for Ferraro in the corner.
Oh, and he nails
How
it.
about that assist? Ferraro, he's got 9. That's the 3rd assist already for Michael Jenkins.
Ferraro has just been a lights-out shooter so far. Pajani, if he gets his shot going, it looks just as smooth as Ferraro's, but he just got to get it going.
Checking in for Porter-Guad, that was Dante DJ Ward, long 6'4", 170-pound sophomore, really bright future. Great on-ball defender, great shot blocker. JP checking him in.
The thing that I love about Porter-Guad is how connected these guys are with the past. Every one of these guys knows Aaron Neesmith. Like, he practices here, works out here every day in the summer with these guys. And he's a guy that's making millions. You know, he works out, he has his trainer, who actually is here, Devon Gilliard is here. But, you know, these guys know him. I mean, Middleton's maybe a little older, and that's number 4 for Ferraro.
12. He's got 4 first-half threes.
That's the way to shoot on TV for sure. But these guys get to, you know, they get to practice day in, day out in the summer with an NBA player, with a guy who's one of the top shooters in the NBA. Josiah Jordan James here all the time in the summer as Cooper Kowalski gets that one to go. I love just the way they bridge the past and the present. It's just so Porter-Guad-centric.
Well, the and one finish. They're looking for 3 the old-fashioned way. Kowalski cuts it back to 12 with 3:33 to go. We'll roll out for our first media timeout here in the second quarter. Griffin Ferraro. He's LeBron James. Not 1, not 2, not 3. How about 4? First half 3-pointers. He's channeling his inner DJ Khaled. Another one. Another one. Taking the lead of Banks Butler's 9 in the first quarter. Griffin Ferraro has lit it up here in the first half.
Now, you've now compared a player to Moses Malone this season, and now you've compared Skiza Please to LeBron James.
Dude, I didn't compare the player. I compared the action. But look, the similarities are uncanny.
Of him and LeBron James?
Sure. 4% threes for Ferraro. I'll tell you, JP, he told us he is a tremendous offensive threat.
Can we go like Steve Kerr?
I'm sure the 3-ball, it plays. That was Jordan Aremu, by the way, on the offensive rebound. The putback cuts it back to 10.
That is pretty.
But the senior, he's starting to get in his bag a little bit. Clyde Molden, another short corner jumper from the same spot.
I love that lefty stroke. It's just so pretty.
Porter-Guad intensifying that defense all the way up to half court. John Michael Jenkins getting in the chest of Dame Jr., who's been really their instant offense. He gets to the elbow, and how about the block from Jenkins? Butler out on the run. Kicks it into the quarter, and they'll pull it out. 12-point lead with 2:45 to go. A whistle away from the ball. They're going to get it on Dame Jr., his first. He got tangled up with Malden down low. He's showing us something special from that short corner, is Clyde Malden. Almost that ability to score in like a telephone booth, right? Yeah, nothing much to it.
There's also something about defending a lefty. I mean, it's just different to defend the lefty a little bit. And the ball's coming from a little bit of a different angle. He's just got a pretty shot. You know who shoots like that? It's Josiah Jordan-James.
Without question, right? The lefty to high release almost. And two, Josiah, especially while I was here, his dad's looking on from the scorer's table. He hasn't missed a game from that chair in close to probably 2 decades with his oldest son, KJ, who's a stud here as well, played at High Point, still playing professionally. But all 3 of those guys and Clyde kind of taking over that, baton. Their ability to really just score off one dribble. It's not a lot of ISO ball. It's catch and they pick and choose the right time. A really talented player that never feels like he's forcing it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You hit it exactly on the head with that. He's not forcing it. Just a smooth player.
I think that's why JP told us it's going to be so tough to lose him, because when do you see a kid this talented, so selfless as well in that captain leadership role?
Absolutely.
Michael Jenkins are going to hedge that pick and roll. He's looking for a man cross court. It's Butler. One dribble. He's got it. Man, this has been a shooting clinic. You want to teach a youngster how to shoot the basketball.
This is how to do it.
Banks Butler's got 11. Ferraro's got 12. And John Michael Jenkins doing a great job of running the offense. Kowalski on the low block. They're going to allow him to play through it, and I think wisely so. It was Banks Butler hitting the hardwood underneath the cylinder, it felt like, in Kowalski. He's got 8 already.
There's John Michael Jenkins, just right back at him. John Michael Jenkins, tough.
Here's the deal. We're not necessarily math guys, but I got to tell you, if we could get some attempts and field goal percentages as Kowalski can't get the putback to go, it's going to go out on Griffin Ferraro. Possession will remain with the Canes, but they got to be shooting 60% right now. This is nuts.
It really is a high percentage that they're shooting tonight. I don't know if you can keep that up the whole game, but if you could build your lead big enough, then First Baptist might not be able to come back from it. I think First Baptist has got a run in them.
They say before the turnaround jumper from Kowalski, they said he slid.
He is not happy about that. I believe there was a certain word that we can't air on my TV, Charleston, that came out of his mouth about that one.
I don't know. You be the judge at home. Let's see. That left foot almost looks like it turns on that pivot foot. Deficit remains at 14, but similar to that first quarter, can they shoot this well all night is the question. Can they weather the storm?
Exactly. And this is a heck of a storm. It's not like they're giving him wide open looks. They're earning their shots, Porter-Guad, but they're just hitting them.
Nice extra pass from Robinson. He looks for Ramu, and he misses long. Here comes Moore out on the break. Pulls up. Jenkins looking for a little bit of an errant pass. It almost looked like it was deflected by Dame Jr., who just feels like he's all over the floor tonight.
Yeah, he is running a lot. You can tell Tay Robinson is getting a little frustrated. He hasn't been able to get his shot. He almost passed up that shot. Maybe he shouldn't have passed it up. If you're a shooter, you keep shooting. He might have had a better look. And there's Kowalski on the inside. Great look.
That's almost one of the more difficult things to teach a young player is to keep that ball high. Great find. He's got 10, cuts it to 12.
Ferraro finally misses.
Without question. But here comes the super senior.
Clyde Malden.
We talked to JP about it. Slippery offensive threat. Maybe a little undersized early in his career. He's dedicated his time in the weight room. He's 6'6", about 165, 170 pounds. He'll continue to put weight on that frame at the collegiate level.
Yep.
But slippery, his ability to maneuver and position himself in order to succeed. Special player.
Porter-Guad's had some centers in the past. The one that comes to mind is Jake Lanford.
Yeah.
If you remember him, he was an outstanding center for Porter-Guad. Went on to play for Yale. Got to play in the NCAA tournament. Oh, what a block by Cooper Kowalski there. That matchup between Kowalski and Moore, who jumps higher and blocks better, is a heck of a good one. And I think Pajani might have had his hand hit on that one.
A half-court heave won't go. An eventful last 15 seconds. It was a beautiful Euro before it was turned away by Cooper Kowalski's third block of the half, but it was too much Porter-Guad in that first half. 39-25, a big dunk and 10 scoring point efforts from Cooper Kowalski was no match for Griffin Ferraro's 12, Bank Butler's 11, Clyde Malden's 8. It was an offensive absolute clinic for the Cyclones. Don't go anywhere. It's the Doctor's Implant halftime report on the other side of this break.
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report, empowering people through full-mouth dental implants.
Each week, the Thumbs Up guys are proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The student selected will have an opportunity to win a $2,500 scholarship at the end of this season tonight. Our final scholar athletes of the fall season and winter season are first Baptist, Mr. Nate Karotny. He's a big young man. He was a stud on the gridiron this fall for the Hurricanes. But how about a 5.08 GPA? He not only played football, but is a member of the cross-country, basketball, and baseball team over at First Baptist. He was also a team-selected captain of the football squad. In the community, Nate volunteers for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, monthly service projects at Farm Camp LLC, and also does a ton of incredible mission work in Guatemala for service projects for those less fortunate. Congratulations to Nate Karotny, and for Porter-Guad, we're going to talk about him a lot tonight. It's the lone senior for the Cyclones. It's Clyde Malden. He's been raved about all night. You see everyone wearing the Clyde Malden senior night shirts. Well, with a 4.113 GPA, he's this week's Scholar Athlete. Not only is he averaging 16 and 16 a game this season, he was last season's most improved player, and again, he was a team-selected captain for this Cyclone squad. In the community, Clyde volunteers at Habitat for Humanity, works with our school-wide toy drive, with a huge key component in a lot of after-school activities in the Porter-Guad student body. Congratulations to both our student athletes, everyone that was nominated this season.
Amazing, we're coming to an end of our high school basketball season. 2 of the 4 Thumbs Up guys are here with me, the presenting sponsors of our Scholar Athlete. And the exciting thing about the end of the year is we get to present that check coming up very shortly. How exciting is that for you guys to see the fruits of your labor, if you will?
Yeah, no, it's so exciting. I mean, we get to go through all of the applicants, see how well they've done, how they've exceeded all expectations, and it's always tough. Back when it was football, we had a really hard time narrowing it down to 3 and then picking that final winner.
How good of a feeling is it to know that you're, in a small way, helping their future?
I mean, that's the best part about this, right? You know, so many of these kids have so much talent, and so if we can help them maybe make that next step, maybe they weren't going to go to college, they get an opportunity here with a little bit extra money that it makes it where they can afford to go to college. You know, next thing you know, they turn into a doctor or the president or who knows, something great. So we're glad to play a small part in that.
Or the 5th Thumbs Up guy. Final question for you, what's happening at the law firm these days?
We're growing, always growing. We're trying to do as much as we can to help the community, and, you know, adding staff, adding attorneys, you know, that growth just helps us give back that much more.
Awesome. The Thumbs Up guys, presenting sponsors of the Scholar Athlete here on High School Hoops.
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report. Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report, empowering people through full mouth dental implants.
Welcome back courtside, joined now by Dubose Eggleston, the head of school here at Porter-Guad. We get to let you brag a little bit, and there's plenty to brag on. If you can, if I give you the platform to brag on your school, what are you so proud of right now?
Well, Scott, the spring season's awesome. We're finishing up winter sports, but then we get the chance to start up all the spring activities from tennis and golf and lacrosse and soccer and track and field. So it's been a fun week with it all running it all at once. We had a great signing day for our seniors, a few of them going on to play at the next level. So it's always great to see some well-covered sports like football and track and field and some superstars there, but kind of cool to have a rugby player going on to play at the next level.
Absolutely.
At Brown, and pole vaulter going on to Cornell. So really proud of those student athletes and all the hard work they put into it.
When you see all the Ivy League schools and the service academies and everything like that, how much does it say about your teachers here?
Gosh, they really prepare our kids for college and the next level. Especially you think about all the time to be a student athlete at that level.
Sure.
And hopefully they're well prepared to continue that and put in so much effort towards all that.
And when you talk about people from this school who have moved on to the next level at the professional level, Aaron Neesmith and Chris Middleton and Josiah James will be next. The people that they are, I'm sure you've got to take pride in that. I mean, yes, they're all great players, but they're all outstanding people.
Well, they are, and of course, we got the chance to see that when they were students and they were leaders here, and
Sure.
all the younger kids looking up to them. That's one of the benefits of being at a K-12 school. You got all these younger kids for them to be to look up to them. But it's great to keep up with them. They come back here to campus quite often. A lot of mornings I get to walk through this gym early in the wee hours, and a couple NBA players practicing at 6 in the morning. So it's kind of a cool thing.
No question about it. DuBose Eggleston, thank you so much for joining us in our halftime report. We'll see you on the other side of this break as we see Clyde Malden on senior night.
Thank you, Scott.
Awesome. Thanks.
Welcome to the Doctor's Implants Halftime Report, empowering people through full mouth dental implants.
Brian Miller from Rapid Repairs joining us now. They are the presenting sponsor of free throws here on High School Hoops. Why jump in? This is a pretty cool partnership to have. What made it a draw for you guys?
Great question, Sky. Thanks for having me. No pun intended, jumping in for High School Hoops. We love our community. We love high school sports, and we love the hoops. So we felt it was a great opportunity to give back to the low country sports.
I know we were just talking that you're a James Island guy. How many good memories come back to you when you think about those high school days?
I tell you what, high school was some of the best years of my life. Between playing sports all year long, the friendships I've still fostered to this day, as well as the outreach in the community I've had the benefit of impacting. Rapid Repairs, what could people call you for? What do you represent as a company? We are a home repair company. If anybody needs electrical repairs or home repairs, please call us at Rapid Repairs.
Awesome. That's Brian Miller from Rapid Repair. They are the presenting sponsor of free throws here on High School Hoops.
We welcome you on the other side of the Dental's Implant Halftime Report. High school hoops, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, Little Wheel Lou Gray. Opportunity School Hoops, 39-25. Porter-Guad. Offensively, Scott, it may have been the cleanest basketball we've seen this season.
That's the perfect word for it. It was a clean half of basketball, well played. Offensively, Porter-Guad was just on fire. If they could keep that up, they win this game easily. But First Baptist has got to run in them, but Griffin Ferraro just can't miss.
Not one, not two, not three, not four. How about 5 3-pointers right now for Griffin Ferraro? He's got 15. Cyclones lead by 17.
We don't have the career high stats here, but he's got to be pushing it because he's one of those guys that, when he catches fire, he goes. But, we haven't heard his name that much this year.
Oh, 5 threes. I'm not sure how many times he's doing that. Is Robert Moore. Dame Jr., how about the Euro, the tough finish from Robert Moore. Relatively quiet half. He was facilitating, but let his defense turn to offense, and you're seeing why college recruits across the entire country excited about this young man.
Yeah, super control of his body there, not trying to do something that he shouldn't do. He wasn't just going to go up for the dunk because he could have gone up for the dunk. He was smart, and he outsmarted his defender to get to the hoop for a perfect, nice lay-in. Counts the same as a dunk.
Robinson finds Kowalski in the corner. Kowalski at 10 and 6 in that first half. Willing his way is Robinson. Nice little up and under. We'll get Robert Moore, his first personal. Show you another look at that Ferraro 3.
Yeah, just a smooth, silky look from him. And you can see why John Pearson likes this team so much. I mean, they're going to compete for a state title in Skeeza this year. They've gone up there to the Sumter Civic Center so many times. They've won state championships. But this is just a complete team. Other teams that have gone up there, yeah, they had Chris Middleton. Yeah, they had Aaron Neesmith. Yeah, they had Josiah James. This team is a very complete team from what we've seen tonight. They're not going to shy away from the spotlight or the pressure, and they can go up to Sumter and make noise quickly.
You mentioned that three-headed monster of Josiah James, of Aaron Neesmith, of Jake Langford. Well, it was the last time that Porter-Guad won a state championship. Three-peat in 16, 17, and 18. You know that Clyde Malden would like to go out with one. Max Preps has got them ranked as the number 1 Skeeza team in the state of South Carolina. They actually got them ranked as the number 2 team in the Charleston area as well, despite the classification and rankings.
It'd be interesting to see them go up against Somerville, to see them go up against Oceanside. I mean, to me, in my opinion, those are the 3 top right now, are Porter, Somerville, and Oceanside. I don't know if you think differently than me, but I think those are the 3 that have stood out among the rest.
Without question. We've had those other 2 is a nice rebound from Malden. He'll kick out to Butler. He'll take a one-on-one finish. Moore looking for a putback. They'll get the foul on Tay Robinson. That's Robinson's second. Will send Moore to the line. But, Scotty, to your point, I think you're spot on. And to me, right now, Somerville far above and be away. Their athleticism, to me, tops in the state.
Yeah, well, Melvin Teal, I think, has been the best point guard we've seen all year, and Yannick Smith has been the best athlete we've seen all year. Yeah. Now, they've got pieces around them. They do a nice job. Those guys are the 2 top right now, and they play together. They are athletically better than any team out there. But when you look at 1 through 5 being able to shoot the way Porter-Guad has tonight, I'd put them up against everybody, against anybody that they play against. Now, the Oceanside one is an interesting one because I think they have the ability in that level to make some noise, but I don't know if I put them up against the Somerville how they would compete.
It's just totally different from a classification physical stature. As Malden looked for a corner 3, won't get it. Robinson Crowell, his 6th rebound of the night. That last putback, he's up to 4 and 6. How about the on-ball defense? Butler just suffocating Dame Jr. right in front of us. Scotty, you look like you were ready to make a play. Moore says, I'll take care of business here. He was looking to catch a body. Aremu contended at the rim. His second personal will send Moore back to the line.
And the more you can just get at the line, those points count just as much. They're not as pretty, but they count just as much as the other ones. So when you look at a guy like Robert Moore, his ability and willingness to just go into the hole, go into the trees, there is no fear there, and that's something John Pearson said. There was never fear there. Even when he was skinny, there wasn't fear in Robert Moore, and he shows that now. And now that he's still skinny. There's no question he has room to grow. There's plenty to be put on that body muscle-wise, but there is no fear there, and a college coach has got to love that. I mean, play in the Division I level, you're going to go up against some big dudes.
Well, you talked about Aaron Neesmith working out with his personal guy, Devon Gaillard, who's worked with some of the best in the Low Country. He's been Moore's guy since he was in the 6th grade.
Right.
I think what's so exciting about Moore is, like, similar how we talked about Malden, is Kowalski's going to get fouled. I'd be curious if they get it on Malden or Ferraro. It will be Ferraro. That's just his first. Keeps it off of Malden as Kowalski will head to the line. But similar to Malden in the sense that, watch Moore. Has he taken a bad shot yet tonight?
No.
He's moved the ball. It's been selfless.
There hasn't been a bad shot, period. Porter-Guad has not put up a bad shot tonight, period. They've played so in control within their system. When they can run and gun, they do, but they're just getting good open shots.
Kowalski misses the front end of that rapid repair free throw. Rapid repairs, if your home needs repairs, call Rapid Repairs. And to the dismay of Antoine Saunders, down 19. Kowalski will miss both of them. How do they get back into this game? How do you slow down this potent Cyclone offense?
You need a streaky guy to get hot. I mean, a guy like Pajani is one of those guys who can be a streaky guy and just get hot. I mean, of course, Cooper Kowalski is going to shoot you into it, but Pajani, somebody that's just going to really get hot and just catch fire like a Griffin Ferraro, that's how you get back into it. I mean, it's a 21-point lead right now. That's not insurmountable, but it's certainly not going to be easy.
I'll tell you what's going to make it difficult. How about 8 second-half points for Robert Moore already? He's up to 12. By the way, all 8 coming in the paint. Those paint points brought to you by West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Man, he's been so calm, cool, and collected. He's gone to that jump stop, which was an Aaron Neesmith special. As Clyde Malden does it on offense, does it on defense. His steal sends Ferraro off to the races. They're going to get a charge.
The offensive foul.
That was DeAndre Bowens. Set up camp, took a pretty serious shot from Griffin Ferraro, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah, he was kind of set right there. And he definitely sold it. I don't know how the acting department is at the First Baptist, but it was definitely sold.
I don't know, man. Griffin Ferraro looked like a running back hitting the A-gap to me there. He hit him pretty good.
Yeah.
Ferraro, I think what Ferraro really happened, I think the officiating crew wanted to make sure that Ferraro only scored the three-point variety. He's got 15 5-3s.
And the coach that Griffin Ferraro was just talking to is Jim Scully. And if you want to hear John Pearson rave about somebody, Jim Scully is the guy. He said he has been with him by his side every single day for the last 15 years. He is an unbelievable brain offensively. When you look at their offensive sets, that's Jim Scully. And John Pearson, he says it. I'm only as good as my assistant coaches, and Jim Scully is the best.
Nice kick out to Tay Robinson. Kyle Korver of the Low Country. It's been a slow night for Robinson. He still only has 4. Canes lead by, oh man.
What a pass.
3 the old-fashioned way for Moore. He's got 14. But how about that find from John Michael Jenkins? We're going to make this no-look assist take us to break.
Look at that pass right there.
Woo.
Got the. Here it is. Look at that. No-look pass for the reverse lay-in. Beautiful.
Nothing else to be said. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Cyclones by 23.
You went back to that, huh? You went back to that.
Back to the well. Well, shout out to our people at West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. You might want to make this guy your point person. Robert Moore with 10 here in the second half. He's got 14 overall. All of them come to the paint. He's flexed all over the Canes here in the second half.
He has been the guy that he has lived up to the billing. He has done everything you said he's going to do. This is the quarter. He's having it, and he is now at the line going for more, and I'm not going to go with the stupid pun for more.
It was right there for the taking. He's got 15 at free throw brought to you by Rapid Repairs. We asked JP, where's the kid rank amongst the guys that he's coached? It's so difficult to stage him against NBA dudes and champions.
It's impossible. Chris Middleton and Aaron Nesmith are once-in-a-lifetime talents to coach. You can't compare him to them, but he says if he continues to put in the work, he's on that trajectory. Now, trajectory, it could end wherever. I don't think you could say anyone's going to have the career Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's the third all-time leading scorer for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's got 12,000 points for the Bucks. You got to put it in perspective, but if this guy continues to grow like this, he could be a very good Division I player.
It's very evident in the way that the full court press at the College of Charleston, one of the better mid-major teams in the country, is. How about that turnaround jumper?
Tay Robinson. Yes, how they can get back in it. Tay Robinson's the guy that can get him back in it.
Back-to-back possessions with the Robinson jumper from that short corner. He's got 8. As it looks like, Dante Ward pulls up. Looked like the young sophomore may have rolled the ankle on that jumper.
Yeah, he is hobbling for sure.
It's a nice move from DeAndre Bowens to find Kowalski. Kowalski bumped mid-flight by Malden. Will send him to the line. You see this last look. This is a tough finish from Robinson. He said shoot or shoot. He's still firing away.
Yeah, he still goes for it. That's what you got to do.
Kowalski heads to the line. He's still got 10 and 6. Just off the front end.
He's missed some free throws. That's 4 straight free throws he's missed here in the second quarter, or in the second half, I should say. So you know if you're going to put him on the line, he's a guy you want to put on the line at this point.
Right. You can see he's almost a little frustrated because John Pearson done such a great job of doubling down every time he's touched the rock. It's been a frustrating night for Kowalski as he misses both.
And you can tell he's yelling at himself. He's upset about it because that's 5 free points. That's a 15-point game if he hits those 5 free shots.
50-50 call. They play through it. It was Miles Jackson set up to take the charge. They keep rumbling as Moore. He showed you inside. He showed you out.
Man, is he smooth.
He's got 18, Mr. Sparky. That 3 ball from outside pushes it back to 23.
And that's such a big swing between the missed free throws, which are free points for you with the clock not ticking, to turn around and get that dagger from Robert Moore. And look how smooth of a shot it is. Just high release, perfect. He has been this quarter has been the best quarter we've seen from a player, personally, in our 6 games broadcast this year.
14 in the third quarter, and again, he hasn't broken a sweat. Everything is one dribble, catch and shoot. We talked about Kowalski, as Tay Robinson's got 5 in a row for the Hurricanes. He knocks that one down. We talked about his ability to get to the spot, pull up, and go. But what's been so interesting in the second half is you see everything so clinical. Catch high, shoot high.
Yep.
The ball never moves.
And good to see DJ Ward back in the game so it wasn't anything serious because he was hobbling pretty good. They got him out. They got him right back in, and he seems to be walking just fine. So never want to see anybody get injured, especially before the postseason. And those, high ankle sprains, that's what you got to worry. Those are the ones that will just hamper you for the entire postseason. So, as important as this game is, as much as you want to beat your rival, when it really matters is those 2 weeks when you're playing up in Sumter. You want to be, because you're going to be there. You know you're going to be there. So great to win this game, but you just don't want to get anybody hurt or anything like that. So I wouldn't be shocked to see John Pearson get some starters out in the fourth quarter if that's what we come to, because we're wrapping up the final season, final regular season week
next
right now.
Week, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Time flies when you're having fun, and that student section's had a blast tonight. This is a Porter-Guad team they're undefeated at home. They're 6-0, I believe, at home this season, and they've gone and played a really difficult schedule. Their only losses in neutral sites this year. They're undefeated on the road as well. So all coming in holiday tournaments, they've taken care of business when needed and asked upon. As Talk about an injury. It looked like Dame Jr. took an elbow high, holding her breath as he's slow to get back to his feet. We're going to take a break in the action as Dame Jr. taking a moment for himself. Athletic training staff for First Baptist, making sure before he gets back to his feet he's okay. Man, this kid has played his absolute tail off tonight.
He really has.
See the great sportsmanship from John Michael Jenkins as it is an inverted elbow high. But he has truly been, I'm going to say a silver lining, but a really bright spot for Antoine Saunders' squad tonight.
Yeah, and he's one of those players who you see him and you go, oh, he's not that big, he's not that imposing. He is fast. He's got a great head on his shoulders, basketball smarts. He's kind of got it all going for him.
See him get over to the sidelines. Dante Ward finds Butler in the corner. Butler pulls, fires yet away. He's playing a fun game with Griffin Farrar right now with who can outshoot each other. Butler's got 14.
Those three have been phenomenal.
I mean, seriously.
More Butler and him have been, more Butler and Ferraro have been phenomenal.
Nice up and under look. He was looking for a Ray move.
And now Robert Moore is looking for showtime.
Off to the races. He gets one of his own. The Robert Moore quarter continues. He's got 20-16 in the third quarter.
The second that ball got loose, he took off. He knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Kowalski was trying to match with a big slam of his own.
Yeah, he wanted that match angle, high definition, John Gaddy shot for Instagram.
Without question. By the way, we're 2 for 2 on dunk side that you've called before they even happened.
Yeah. Oh, they weren't very difficult. Clyde Malden.
Yeah. Clyde Malden into double figures on senior night. He's got 10.
Nice to see it. And this quarter has just been a domination. This quarter has been Porter-Guad at their best as they get another steal, although this one goes back to First Baptist. And we're going to see Kowalski throw it down with 2 hands.
Gracefully, man. The kid's got unbelievable bunnies. He's a really high vertical kid. I mean, he can go touch 11-5. But it's the ability to get up off the ground so quick.
And it's funny because he grew up in a baseball family. His dad's one of the elite baseball coaches in the area.
Keep it on the hardwood. I think his future's going to be just A-OK out here as the Porter-Guad, they feel A-OK with a big 25-point lead heading into the fourth. Don't go anywhere. We still got some fireworks. Robert Moore, 16. Come on. Slight work.
Oh, look at that John Gaddy shot of it, too.
As we welcome you back in, there's been a lot to smile about. How about 16 in the third quarter for the young, bright superstar Robert Moore, the junior at 6'6", 185 pounds. He's a borderline 4-star kid. After a night like tonight, he's got 20 heading into the fourth. He's making a strong case. Tay Robinson making a strong second half effort. He's now got 10. No, excuse me, I can't count. He's now got 11 with a chance for 12.
Talk about a quiet 11. I mean, we were saying he wasn't going to do anything. He wasn't doing anything. And you know how quickly he can work his way up near 20 points for tonight. It's funny, I was talking to John Pearson before the game, and I said, JP, you know, on their roster, they have Tay Robinson as a junior, not a senior. And he said he better not be a junior because I don't want to see that guy again next year. He is a senior.
He had a huge third quarter. He's now got 12, all 10 of which coming in that third quarter. He's tried to stay pace with Robert Moore, as Robert Moore looks like he is far from finished. Moore, who's gone into the 30s, close to, I think, 5 times already this season. He does have a 40-point game under his belt as well during the Round Ball Classic, the North Charleston Rec Department over the holiday break.
What a good job they do. And you know what the funny thing about it is? You know who owns the Round Ball Classic? John Pearson and Anton Saunders. They bought the tournament. It's theirs.
We told you that they're basketball low country legends for a reason, not an accident.
They literally, it is their tournament. So they took, you know, and what a job they've done with it. That was a tournament, you know, when Piggly Wiggly shut down a bunch of their stores and they kind of dropped out of sponsoring it. And I think the Rotary Club had it, and I guess, you know, maybe their numbers were going down a little bit, and it's a lot to put that on. You got to get sponsorships, and you got to get housing, and you got to get food, and it's a tremendous thing. But Anton Saunders and John Pearson care so deeply about basketball in our area that they were like, you know what, we'll take over. We'll take this tournament, and that's what they've done. The North Charleston Athletic Center is the perfect place to host it, centrally located, plenty of parking, beautiful facility, and a warm-up gym. It's a great tournament that they have, and they get some really good teams from up and down the eastern seaboard.
It's the perfect guys to host it as well. And this Porter-Guad team, with as many juniors as they have coming back, look like they could contend to win the dang thing. As Jenkins rattles out a 3, Kowalski brings in his 8th rebound as Robinson.
Oh,
how about that jump stop?
Was that a jump stop or a travel?
I'll give it to him. He's got 14. I think before he took off of 1, because he comes down on 2, I'll give it to him. I like the move.
There you go. I am very impressed with Tay Robinson. You know, he has quietly gotten himself a really nice stat sheet tonight.
Jump stop alert is right from our producer and director, fearless leader, Vince. Short.
I don't know.
With a 22-point lead, or 22-point deficit, you might get away with it, right?
Yeah, you might get away with that. These refs want, it's Friday night. They want to go home. They want to watch ABC News 4 at 11. They got to be home in time for it.
Want to go back and rewatch themselves. They've done a good job.
They can do that anytime on any social media channel from ABC News 4.
There you go.
You can always tune into YouTube, Facebook live streams. I don't believe Elon lets us stream this on Twitter anymore.
Oh,
I think Elon.
You were talking about the college. I was like, who?
No. Yeah, I believe Elon Musk has nixed us live streaming on X. Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe we are only live streaming on abcnews4.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
Well, if you're Antoine Saunders and First Baptist, you're probably hoping that they'll find a way to scrub this off of the internet in general, as his team is staring a 2-2 region finish.
What I love about Anton and John is they are so invested in not only their best players, but getting all of their players college looks. I mean, they'll take just as much time with a Division II, a Division III school, finding a spot for a guy, as they will talking to the Pat Kelseys and the Earl Grants of the world, getting their top-notch guys to a top-level school. And I love that about them. These two guys, they eat, sleep, and breathe low-country basketball, and they are tremendous assets for the basketball community. Anton Saunders has been all over the place as Pajani makes that steal.
I love it. No fear as he goes and contests up against with Moore, as Tay Robinson. Again, a really quiet 16.
And that's also 9 rebounds for Tay Robinson. You talk about stuff in the stat sheet on an off night. That's stuff in the stat sheet on an off night.
1-2, you got to love the adjustment. JP called him the Kyle Korver of the low country.
I believe it was the Kyle Korver of Skiza.
Oh, Skiza? Skiza plays it? He's Kyle Korver?
I think he's Kyle Korver of Skiza.
Okay, I'm all in on that. Is Malden, he's got 12, a nice little lefty baby hook, but but he's adjusted the game. Like, he wasn't getting the three ball to fall.
Correct.
So he went straight at the rim. West Shore home, that's your guy. Checking in, that's Deontay Bowens back out on the floor. Robinson on a high pick and roll ball screen, gets freed up, but will miss. Malden out on the races. Oh, look at how about the tough finish?
What a senior night for him. Now you think, would it be like tacky to wear your own shirt, to wear a shirt of your own? I mean, I think you would do it. I mean, you wear a pencil on your hat and your shirt, so I wouldn't put it past you, but I don't know if I could pull off wearing a shirt of myself. Although it'd be cool to have.
I got to tell you, how about this finish? Look at the touch. Without question, going to play at the collegiate level. To answer your question, no, I want to watch this one. How about the right shoulder? Strong, physical.
That is nice.
He's put on some serious weight the last 2 years. He's really developed and dedicated his time in the weight room. It's paid dividends. To answer your question, though, yes, I'm wearing that shirt. I'm not wearing myself. I wear a pencil because pencils, frankly.
Pencil is you. No, you have a picture of yourself holding a pencil as your logo.
Nah, no, it's just the pencil. I'm not as good looking as, someone like Clyde Malden's got his face all over shirts here tonight. So I'm all on board with Clyde Malden wearing it. And with the way they played tonight, I think when they go to the Skeeza playoffs, I think they're going to have to rep them again with this kind of performance.
I think you're going to have to come here and interview him with a pencil.
Duh.
Tay Robinson.
35 feet out.
That's from James Island. Again, quiet night. He's going to have 18 and 10 by the end of it. I mean, it's a pretty impressive quiet night.
There's 19 as it semi-quieted that Porter-Guad student section. Kowalski with his fourth block on a nice turnaround jumper.
I'll tell you what, I love the grit and the tenacity of Pajani. Look at him sweating. He's not scared of anybody. He's playing as hard now. I mean, he knows this game is over, and he is playing as hard now as he has from minute one of this game. As we go to break right now for our final timeout of the game. Looking forward to wrapping it up after these messages. It's like with a great yo, and I ain't gonna let it go to me, dog. Now picture me fall to the wayside.
It's Will Gray Opportunity School Hoops, driven by Crew Chevrolet, 70-47 with 3:58 to go. It's really been driven by Clyde Malden, the lone senior for the Cyclones. He's got 16 and 3 tonight on what was a really emotional evening. As how about the young freshman? A little bit of a rim grazer, but Cato Miller, welcome to the scoring efforts. His first two of his varsity season, and the lead back to 25. There's Tay Robinson. Oh, nice little jack-in-the-box move. He gets that floater to go. Our statistician,
Stu Eisberg, says 24 for him.
He's far smarter than I am. 24 and 10, Mr. Eisberg.
He's a big math guy. He's not a great English guy, but definitely count his math.
Well, 24-10, he's eyeing down our Holy City Heating and Air Player of the Game if the scoreboard was upside down. But
he's taking over fourth grade calculus for me. I can't do my daughter's homework anymore, so she calls him, so I'll trust him on Tay Robinson points.
Butler finds the freshman in the corner, can't get it to go. Moore with the offensive putback, he can't get it to go. Malden, he can't get the offensive putback to go. But Tay Robinson, it's been his second half. He's got every point in the quarter for the Hurricanes as Pajani, he finds a recently checked in Henry Hunt. Will miss that errant three. All of our stats this season, I couldn't do it, Scotty couldn't do it. We do thank Papa Iceberg for helping us out at the scores table this year.
And there it is, there's the moment. And look at that moment, Clyde Malden giving a big hug to Anton Saunders. Let's let the crowd speak for this.
Up by 1 point. The last quarter. The Moore have 21. Hold on. I got it.
We welcome you back into Porter-Guad High School, a dominating 25-point victory. But before we headed down to Scott Eisberg, tonight's trophy, the Scholar Athlete plaques, at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Despite a 24-10 night from Tay Robinson, he was spectacular for his First Baptist. It was a shooting and offensive clinic for John Pearson's Porter-Guad Cyclones. The 4-star Robert Moore was spectacular. He got incredible outside shooting. How about 16-5 from the lone senior Clyde Malden, the clear fan favorite? Well, now it's time. Let's find out who is that Holy City Heating and player of the game. It's no other than Robert Moore. We send him down to Scott Eisberg and John Pearson.
Jack, thank you very much. Our team, the Porter-Guad Cyclones, their head coach, John Pearson, our player of the game, Robert Moore. What a performance, JP. I mean, it was near a perfect performance on TV to win a region tonight. How do you feel?
Well, very happy. The kids prepared a long time for this game and actually executed the game plan very well. It's just tough when, you got a friend on the other side. It's just tough. After you win, you think about them.
How special was it to see Anton and Clyde hug and then your embrace? What was that like for you?
Man, Clyde is one of a kind. He's very good friends with Coach Saunders. Coach Saunders coached him all summer along with me. It's just a good friendship, a good friendly rivalry. It's just tough to win and tough to lose on that.
Clyde, what did senior night mean to you?
Yes, sir. A lot. It meant a lot with my teammates here and my coaches and all my friends. It just meant everything to me.
Are you going to wear that shirt of you or not?
Nah.
Yes. All right, that's the Porter-Guad Cyclones. They are our final one of the year. It's been a great year, Jack, and it's our final trophy we're handing out to JP and the Cyclones. Congratulations. Best of luck in the playoffs, guys.
Well, the job, it's not done yet. Porter-Guad's hoping that that's not the final trophy that they hoist this year, and with an offensive standout performance from the young junior forward, Robert Moore. Well, who else could have been our Holy City Heating and Air player of the game? We provide solutions for every season. Well, how about Robert Moore? He provided quite the third quarter explosion. He had 16 in that third quarter. He finishes with 23 and 7. The young man is going to be on a lot of TVs on Saturday afternoons in the college basketball ranks. They leave him out of Charleston. Boy, is some Power 5 school going to be happy to have big number 11 on their sidelines. For the final time this year, we thank everyone who allows these student athletes' dreams to come true, to play on TV. We thank you, Will Lou Gray, Cruz Chevrolet, Miller Dawson, Siegel and Ward, Doctors Implants, Mr. Sparky's, Rapid Repairs, Holy City Heating and Air, and West Shore Home. On behalf of myself, all of Sinclair Broadcasting, we say thank you for the final time of this season. Like I mentioned, Scotty, I've learned a ton from you. I say thank you for the final time.
Hey, great job this season. Jack's done a ton of work. What a job, play-by-play, a hometown kid done well, so it's been a great time to do it together. Our families well-tied and looking forward to doing more games in the future. Jack, you say goodbye for the final time.
On behalf of everyone who gets here and busts their tail and sets up, our producer, our director, Vince, Chris, who gets here early to set everything up, we say thank you for the final time. Porter-Guad, a 25-point region championship rivalry dub. John Pearson and the Cyclones, they're not done yet, but we're done for the final time this season. We say thanks. See you guys next fall.
Now picture me fall to the wayside where I can't slide to the point where they're really in my face. I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy in my frenzy. It's me against that world, cause the world seems to be against me. I'm rolling.